Welcome to Crypto Malta! And welcome to another chaotic week in crypto. What is going on? What is going on with the market? Do you know? Does anybody know what's going on? Down, up. I called Bitcoin headquarter and told them, stop playing with my heart. But there's nothing I can do about it. Luckily for you, tonight we're going to have Danielle, who's going to talk about the Bitcoin forecast model, and that's going to be interesting. He is very proud of it because it worked before, so it's a proven model. Let's hear all about it in a second because I'm going to make some very boring announcements. That's what I love to do. My name is Feres. I am a blockchain evangelist, and we are here at CryptoHub Malta. CryptoHub Malta is the blockchain community of Malta. We got registered as an association last week. Yeah. I announced it already last week. Now, all the meetups are going to be for free. It is a non-profit. We're never going to ask for your money or going to sell something to you. But if you want to be part of it, and this is like completely voluntarily, if you want that something like CryptoHub Malta, like an open platform for blockchain technology and other technologies, exists in Malta, come hit me up later. We're literally still working on the membership form where you can put your name and your ID card. If you want, you can join for 100 euro plus VAT, so it's like 118 euro, but it's completely voluntarily and just if you want. I have some other announcement that I also made last week. So, remember those guys? We announced them last week. There are some students from the University of Malta that found a vulnerability in an app. That means, imagine you have a house and they knock at the door of the house and they find out you forgot to lock the door. They give you a call, hey, you forgot to lock the door. And the company, 3 Hour, that is like the house here with the open door, what they did is like, whoa, are you breaking into my house or what? They called the police. Police went and arrested them, and this is now public knowledge, so I can say it. It's written in this article. Police came, they arrested them. Those are young kids from the university, telling them there is a vulnerability in the app. Police came, picked them up, strip searched them. Do you know what that means, to be strip searched? It's like, whoop. Let's see where you're hiding a USB key if it's somewhere. They took all of the data. They took all of the computers, laptops, all the hard drives they could find. And this has been going on for 2 years. Now, luckily, some people have been sending the government some letters. And now the Prime Minister announced that there will be, hopefully, this is like almost sure, reliable sources telling me, a presidential pardon for those students. It's just like, those are the good guys. Remember, those are the good guys. They are looking for vulnerabilities and letting companies know that there is a safety issue, telling them they should not be punished. Now, we are CryptoHub Malta, and that's why we talk about stuff like that, because open source, free code, and having guys like that that are doing the right thing, they're white hat hackers. They're the good guys. This is very important. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any distributed ledger. There would be no blockchain. There would be probably not even a live stream that we're doing right now, and there wouldn't be a Telegram group. And CryptoHub Malta lives in the Telegram group. You can join it. Of course, it's also free, but it's private, so you need to scan the QR code at the end of the bar. That is where we talk. If you have some questions or you want to share something, that's the place. You cannot go to Telegram and look for it because it's private. And if we don't make it private, there will be too much spam and bots and I don't know. So go scan the QR code and join if you want. Yeah. Of course, we are also on many other platforms. We have a website. We are on X, YouTube most recently, Facebook, Instagram, and meetup.com. Now, this is our YouTube channel, and you can find it. It's public. We are live streaming this event right now to our YouTube channel, and we have a lot of recordings that we are slowly going to upload there. So if you missed the presentation or if you just want to rewatch it, go to YouTube and check it out. I said that we are broadcasting this event here tonight because tonight there is, apart from having Danielle as the speaker, and that's going to be great, we have one of the board members of CryptoHub sitting in Bucharest. So there's a similar place, not like this one here in Malta. This is Soho office. It's a co-working space where you have offices in the second and the third floor. You have a small gym and a spa area on the first floor, and the event location here where we are having fun every Wednesday. Damiano is now sitting in Bucharest in a place called Animaletto House, and they are looking at this live stream as we speak. So hopefully there will be some questions and some interactions from Bucharest, because our plan is that we are Crypto Hub Malta, but eventually there will be a Crypto Hub Bucharest and a Crypto Hub Katowice, and maybe a Crypto Hub Skopje in Macedonia. Some of you know Antonio, he's the gov, the Pazam, the guy that speaks about the revolution here. You remember him? So he's from Macedonia originally. And potentially we could gather a group of people here in Malta that jumps into a Ryanair flight for 20 euro, goes to Skopje or goes to Bucharest or goes to Katowice, all cities that are strategically connected with a direct flight from Ryanair. And then we're going to have a similar event there, only you are going to meet like a complete new ecosystem. The people in a different country, with different backgrounds, with different technologies and different projects that they're working on. So I'm sure this will be super interesting. And tonight, we are having the first crossover to Bucharest. So, hello, Crypto Hub Bucharest. Hello. I'm sure they're going crazy in Bucharest right now. Okay, last thing I have to say, this is our PO app. If you scan this QR code, it's a free NFT drop, it costs nothing. We are using it for the structure of the voting mechanism in the association that we have now. So that means in the future, if you claim this, you have a proof of attendance. You can prove that you have been participating. And if you're here, whether you're a member, a paying member or not, in my opinion, you should have a say in what we are going to do, what we're going to talk about, and what our activities should be focused on. So if you claim this, you can be part of that. And also, you will have unlimited first-class Ryanair flights for the rest of your life. Okay, that's not going to happen, but scan it now. It's you can join the DAO that we're building in the future and be part of the organizational structure if you want. It costs you nothing and it's a nice collectible. I'm gonna put this on later, and now I'm going to crash the computer here because we cannot have one presentation without technical issues. No, there will be no technical issues. I'm going to put up the presentation because we are going to talk about Bitcoin forecast model. Everyone, Danielle.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry, but I was sick until yesterday, so this is the motivation because I'm so with a lot of dresses to avoid any risk. I just want to start with a joke. In 2013, I met some guys that by combination last week I was in Malta, and they proposed me, Daniele, we can set up an exchange in crypto in Switzerland. What do you think? And I say, crypto? What is? And they say, no, Bitcoin is amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I look at the price and say, how it's possible that a crypto that I never heard, I worked in finance, I never heard, has a value 300 times more than US dollar. Has no sense. No, it's a bullish, a fucking bullshit, you know. Then I work in other field and so on. In 2017, I say, in reality in 2016, but in 2017, I say, okay, I can put a chip, you know? And the price was 2,400. And the day later, 2,000. So drop the 20% just one day later. I say, oh, you see, I invest, I lose money. But I stay there, quiet. And now, honestly, it's not anymore 98, but no? But the problem is a high price 83. What is K today, or what is whatever 100,000, 79? Okay, even worse. Is a high price, or in 2018 will be greater the price when there is the next halving? Because the problem is that if I knew in 2017 that the Bitcoin will grow to 100,000, no, instead of 2,000 like I thought, probably I would sell the house, you know, and put all the money in Bitcoin. No, but when I started, I was not aware of the potential of Bitcoin. Today, I a lot more aware. So let me present a bit DIAMAN Partners. DIAMAN Partners is a management company here, set up here in Malta, authorized to make alternative investment fund and UCITS fund, both for professional and retail. We have a crypto fund in various jurisdictions. But anytime that I start to speak about my company, I start from the values. These are values that we share with all the employees of the company, and basically form the word ethics: excellence, transparency, honesty, innovation, collaboration, and sharing. And this value drive all our decision in our company. And when we set up this, the company changed completely, because the people feel more involved in the development of the company. Actually, no, I put it to actually, the DIAMAN Partners is on a group of companies around the world. Azimuth has 11 countries around the world with over 110 billion. And we have set up Augmented SICAV, that is a UC SICAV, and OpenIF. OpenIF is a platform to create your own crypto fund. If you want to create your own crypto fund to avoid taxes, to raise more money for any reason, we can talk about it, okay? So, I suppose that every one of you know what the halving is, you know, so I don't waste time for this, because it's a strong presentation and we have a few minutes. But almost 4 years, but in the precision is every 210,000 block, the remuneration of the miner is cut for the 50%. And this create a huge decrease of issue of the new Bitcoin in the market. So there is a deflationary system of new Bitcoin until 21 million. Everyone knows this. But which is the impact of this? So how we can estimate the fair value price? So we start from a microeconomic structure. When you study at the university, they teach you that any kind of asset has a reason to exist only if there is an offer, there is a demand, and the cost of production and distribution is lower than the price that the people want to pay. Okay, if this is real for Bitcoin, is real for the cream for the ladies, is real for a car, is real for every kind of asset in the world. You know. So if we apply this concept to a scale. Cartesian plan where we put the demand and the offer, and how there were an animation, but unfortunately it's a PDF, so I cannot show you. But the price increase, if the demand is constant with the decrease of the supply, like Bitcoin are doing during the year, or if the supply is constant with the increase of demand. You are right, you agree with this? But if it's a combination of two, so there is a decreasing of the Bitcoin input in the market every day, and there is a demand that is increasing because there are newcomers every day that arrive to use Bitcoin, of course this is exponential. So there is 3 methodologies. Today we speak only of one because of the time, but eventually we can speak in another occasion. The well-known stock-to-flow model created at Plan B in 2018. The rate of adoption, that is a proprietary model, and also the hash rate remuneration, that is our model either. So you can find in Cointelegraph If you make in Cointelegraph search my name, you can find every one of these articles that explain this model. So the stock to flow, I just show the result. This is the original stock to flow that Plan B made in 2018. Now it's changed, no, because was unreliable. But and I wrote basically why is fuck is a PDF. There is not. There is a nice video about this. But okay. But anyway, you can find this video and why, for me, the Plan B model stock to flow is not reliable in Cointelegraph. And we spoke about the demand, okay? And we started with a very simple concept. Who has invested of you in mutual fund in his life? Few people. Okay. So the mutual fund basically is like a box where the people put the money and purchase the share of this fund at a certain price. That is the NAV, net asset value of the fund, okay? What's happened if the people that purchase the fund double? The capitalization of the fund double, but the fund issue new share and the price remain at 100, the same price, okay? This is how a fund works. It's not increasing because there is new comers in the fund, are increasing only if the asset, underlying asset, is growing. But for the Bitcoin, sometimes not work. Okay. But for the Bitcoin is different because if there is a number of investors and the price of Bitcoin is X, 80,000, okay? And the number of new of investors double with the same amount of money of before, the Bitcoin cannot increase. The Bitcoin remains the same. So we have to fight to purchase the Bitcoin at a higher price. Do you agree with this? So if we look at this in a mathematical formula, but I just show the simple picture because maybe no more people are very familiar with mathematics, but it's very simple. The market price of a mutual fund is the price, the net asset value, multiplied for the number of investors, okay, that has the share. But if we add the number of clients here, and basically this is the average for each client. So I can consider the market cap of the fund, the number of clients, multiply for the average of each client. Do you agree? Complicate? Eventually we speak later. But with the Bitcoin is similar. I can consider market cap of the Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin, multiplied per the number of Bitcoin circulation. This is pretty simple. The capitalization is number of Bitcoin circulation multiplied for the price. But I can consider, for the same reason before, the number of wallet in circulation, non-zero wallet, okay, multiply for the average of each wallet. So if I take all the wallet that there is around the world, I make the average of this one, and multiply for the number of wallet, I obtain the same, the capitalization, okay? Or if I have the capitalization, I have the number of wallet, I can identify which is the price, average price of each investor, okay? Why I telling you this? Because in this case, if the number of wallet increase and the average remain basically the same, the capitalization increase. Has to increase because the number of Bitcoin remain practically the same. There is very few every day. So what we search to demonstrate, basically this is the number of non-zero wallet. We don't put in the regarding the time, but regarding the number of block. because the number of blocks is not every time 10 minutes. So at the beginning was very fast. No? So to have a more precise relation between the number of wallet and the time, we use the time of the blockchain, so the block, okay? So if we put this in a log scale, the log scale means that any period here is 10 times greater, you see? Okay? We can find the non-zero wallet chart like before, and we can fit with a power law. The power law, for not a technician, but I suppose that most of you have heard about the power law, is a function that is able to, with this curve, with this formula, to fit more possible the increase of the number of wallets. Then I calculated the average for each wallet for the formula before, and I saw that the average, of course, has the volatility of the Bitcoin, because if the Bitcoin increase, your amount in the wallet increase, okay? But even this, in a log scale, has a function that I can fit in this power law curve. So if I take the two power law curve, I can put in a chart and see that the price of Bitcoin is the number of wallets multiplied for the average divided the number of Bitcoin circulation, okay? With this formula, I'm able to design this black line, okay? And this black line, you can see that fit quite well the average of the price of the Bitcoin. Of course, the price of Bitcoin has a huge volatility, cannot stay in the line, maybe in 50 years, I don't know. But you can see that is following this. And I created this model in 2019, and I published and presented in a quant conference in Venice in 2020. This model in 2020, there is the video, predict 67,000 in 2021. 67,000 was almost close to so not because I very smart, but luckily predicted the right price. I was hoping that plan B was right, at that time, because I was hoping that grow more than 67,000. But sometimes we needed to also be grateful that arrived to 100,000, respect 15,000 in 2022. So this is incredible because fit very well, and if you take an interval of confidence, you can also see more or less which will be the range where the price will move. And this model is pretty similar at the results to the one that are using Michael Saylor to say that the Bitcoin 2045, if I'm not wrong, will be 13 million, okay? This is basically similar. Here, the range will be between 8, the minimum boundary, and 25, the maximum boundary. So the range could be in 2045 could be. So of course, it can happen everything. Bitcoin can go to zero. We have to invest only the money that we can lose. No? But we have to take in consideration that the potential of Bitcoin is not just because it's a speculation, or there is the people that are crazy and purchase Bitcoin, not the physical asset, the traditional asset. It's because it's designed to grow in this way, okay? And so 79,000 is a very huge opportunity to purchase Bitcoin for now. So just a very brief presentation about hash rate. I don't present in the detail, but here is complicated to explain, so I skip it. I just saw the result. But here, the concept is there is a relation between the money that are spending the miners and the price of Bitcoin. Of course there is. and it's very strictly, and you can see in this chart. Basically, this chart is similar to the power law, you see? But any time that there is the jump due to the reduction of the new Bitcoin issue with the halving, there is a jump. Any time that was close to the jump was a bit lower respect to the light blue line, okay? And this is because for the reason that I told before, there has to be a relation between the price of Bitcoin and the money that the people are spending to create the Bitcoin. Because if they are losing money, they switch on the machine and the game is finished, you know? It's not finished because they readapt and blah, blah, blah. But the concept is that has to be a relation. And if there is a relation, that means that Bitcoin is energy money. Do you agree with me? You know, and when the people say, it's a Ponzi scheme, you say, bravo, bravo, go short. Okay, but it's very nice that you see that any time that the price was close to the halving, was a little bit lower than the forecast of this model, okay? And this justify even, probably, even if it was for the ETF, of course, but that the price of the halving goes up more than the previous maximum, all-time high, you know? Because it has to be here, you see? So, let's see all the model together. It's not so different, except the plan B that is a bit exaggerated in the forecast of the future price. But we can see that probably the rate of adoption model, that is the black line, is the more accurate, actually, that we can have to predict the Bitcoin price. So, to return to the question, which will be the price of Bitcoin in 2018 close to the halving? Not at the maximum, close to the halving. This is the forecast. Stock of flow, forget. Okay? But the rate of adoption and hash rate predict a very, very nice, brilliant future for Bitcoin. Okay? So it's not a financial advice, but we needed to take in consideration the dynamic of the Bitcoin and where it can go even in 4 years from now. Okay, 3 years. Thank you very much. Sorry, probably if you want to follow me in LinkedIn. And there is someone. Thank you. Some biography. Do you have a question for me?
There's a question over there. I come right to you, but maybe I cannot bite my tongue, and I will ask the first question. And that question is, what is your prediction for the peak of Bitcoin this cycle? Bam. Everyone was waiting for this, please.
No, sorry, for the peak of this cycle.
Yes.
No
financial advice.
No financial advice. I publish in Cointelegraph, so is then more a financial advice, even though it's not a financial advice. For us, is 243. Sorry, 263. The price for all-time high. Probably in September, but there is a lot of conditions, so don't take like a Bible, to follow. Don't sell the house, but invest smartly, possibly with a dollar cost averaging, every month, but invest because for sure we'll have a brilliant future.
We will remember. Next question here.
263, we are all looking for that, so we will celebrate together. First of all, Daniele, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on having 110 billion asset management. So I think you deserve a higher applause. Not everyone has those. So come on, let's give a high applause to Daniel for today.
Thank you. It's not mine, unfortunately. I'm just a piece of the puzzle. But
Still, don't remove yourself the proudness. I completely agree with all the mathematical models. I think Bitcoin is a solving problem that you need to see with this type of models. My only concern is as the knowledge of Bitcoin increases with the wallets, when we try on-chain analysis, we realize that people for cybersecurities, they are splitting more wallets. So it's not like in 2018. Did you put on the equation that now the wallets are increasing and you get the same prices? Also, something that I want to add, I'm still surprised when we price Bitcoin in currency. So for example, I believe that the price of today that we are on the $83,000 range compared to the $69,000 cycle of 2021, we are in reality losing value because the dollar has lost 40–50% of value in the last 5 years. So I don't know if you put those, if we look at the purchase power, if we see the cost of the property index, the cost of the purchase power, do you put those
no.
math models on the equation or?
This is a very good question and a point that we can figure out. The dollar doesn't lose 50% in 5 years, lose the 25% in 5 years, but it's a huge amount of money the same. We can do this because, of course, for any country is different, you know. For Argentina and Turkish, we are all-time never seen before, you know. But of course, the change for the pricing power. For sure, Bitcoin and gold, and we have launched a product with Bitwise that is listed in Paris just last week, that is using Bitcoin and gold together and rebalancing based on the trend. Is all automatic. We do not do nothing, just create the model. Because DIAMAN started in 2002 as a quantitative finance advisory company, you know. And so we have created gold and Bitcoin because it's incredible. I make a question for you. The Bitcoin is a good hedge for equity or for bond? For your point of view. You never made? Bonds. Really, very good. If you have 10% of Bitcoin in your asset allocation, from the people that are coming from finance, you have 90% in bond and 10% in Bitcoin, the 47% of days in the last 10 years that the bond lost value and the bond lost value, the Bitcoin was able only with the 10% to cover the loss of the bond. So it's a perfect hedge for the bond. And the gold, instead, is a very good hedge for equity. So if you have investment in equity, here probably most of you are Bitcoiner or crypto only, and you don't invest in traditional finance. But I came from traditional finance. You know, I just moved to this world. I moved in 2017, but I moved in this world. And it's incredible how can create a very good risk return approach using this combination of Bitcoin and gold in the portfolio. So for sure, Bitcoin and gold are the best asset to have in portfolio to protect by the inflation. And believe me, I wrote also a book about that. The inflation is really probably that make another spike in the next 2 years. So, and you can see from with the tariff, with the rearm of Germany, is done. The inflation is done. It's just question of a month, you know. So it's very important to have hard asset in the portfolio to protect against the rise of the inflation.
Okay, thank you for that. There is a question in the back of the bar, and we are going to get to that in just a second. But now, for the first time, we are going to have a question from Bucharest about the Bitcoin reserve. And I just saw the question in our Telegram group and wanted to provide a little bit of context, because the United States has been discussing and voting on establishing a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. And might be controversial, but the nation state should maybe not be so lucky to buy Bitcoin under 100K. They should only buy over 1 million. Huh? That's when we sell it to them. But actually, the United States and many other nation states, they have a lot of reserves. The US, for example, they have a strategic cheese reserve since 1933.
It's a bit fast.
For various strategic regions. And now they are discussing a Bitcoin reserve. So without further ado, I'm going to read up the question from Bucharest. Are you ready, Danielle? It's for you. Do you think that the adoption as a Federal Reserve will break the typical Bitcoin cycle? And what are the current signals by the market in that regard? Will you have to adjust the model accordingly? Those were the questions of Bucharest.
Yes, I have to adjust the model after the ETF approval, because I made the prediction in 2023 before the approval of the ETF, and the model the same model predict 130,000 for the Bitcoin. No, after the increase of price and value due to the ETF approval in US changed. For my point of view, will be very difficult that the Federal Reserve will follow in a short term the Trump desire, because I work since 2002 with the banks, no, and the banks is the most old, slow, conservative company that there are in the world. And can you imagine the head of the banks, the Federal Reserve, So I suppose that Trump was just able to say, we don't sell the asset that we have in this moment, that is good. But to see the Federal Reserve purchase Bitcoin, I suppose that we take a lot of time. Probably will be Switzerland that will purchase Bitcoin before. No? And will be a very smart move for Switzerland. This is my point of view. Will be a great, there is a lot of states inside the US that are making law to try to have a strategic reserve of Bitcoin, because they are understand this dynamics, So more the people will be aware of this dynamic, more probably will be, but that someone started to make the reserve. And when someone started to make a reserve and the price increases a lot, all the others has to run to not waste, to not lose the opportunity, But probably will purchase 1 million, from my point of view.
Sounds great. Danielle, hand to your heart. Is Malta going to purchase Bitcoin as well as a nation state?
Very good question. I don't know, honestly, I'm not really involved in the politics here in Malta. I work a lot with MFSA, the authority, and I have a very constructive approach with them because they are trying to push the crypto, the authorities, but it's not simple, especially because the bank doesn't want to open a bank account for the crypto company. I don't know if you have this problem. I have a crypto company, I have the account in Italy. That is crazy. Italy is much worse than us, but for my relation, I was able to open the account in Italy, but not in Malta. No, so it's still complicated. No, but it's a fortune. We are lucky that it's complicated, because if it will be not complicated, it's finished in a while,
Thank you. That was a very accurate and diplomatic answer. It is. If you hear that Malta, the nation state, is buying Bitcoin, it was I who started that rumor last year. There's 3 more questions. You're all lined up. Next question here.
Hi. Thank you very much. I was wondering, I have 2 questions for you. What is going to happen with the introduction of the quantum technology, the quantum chips that NVIDIA unveiled, Microsoft unveiled, and more?
Yes.
For you, specifically for your model. And the second question is, did you consider the advent of fusion power that is about 10 years in advance that will probably arrive soon? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Very interesting. So I knew the Davide Venturelli. We spoke before about this. Davide Venturelli is an Italian guy that was one of the 55 guys to work in a quantum computer with the NASA and Google in California. And I made also an interview to him in YouTube, you can find it. And he told me that few years ago, but 3-4 years ago, that is practically impossible that quantum computer will be able to break the private key of a wallet or the blockchain, at least in the next 30 years. And he is one of the smartest guy in this field, okay? And he told me also that the cryptography, quantum resistant, is just existing, you know? So it's just a question of see how the quantum computer will develop, but we are still very late. It's very early in the quantum computing. And because I don't know if you know how a quantum computer works, but it's not like a GPU that make a routine of search like the ASICs for the miners, you know? It's trying to make very complex formulas and try to find the physical minimum and maximum in the curve, you know? So it's a completely different approach. You can forecast where a star will be in 100 years, no, very precisely, but he is not able to make a lot of routine like an ASICS computer. So for the moment, for me, is not a problem at all. For the nuclear power, I hope that will arrive, and we need it, not only for Bitcoin, also for the world, because we cannot continue to burn petroleum to create energy, you know, electric energy. And there is in the presentation regarding the hash rate relation with the price of Bitcoin, there is a function that demonstrated that the reward for each hash rate that a computer is doing is decreasing incredible. So they don't pay anything for one hash rate, you know. At the beginning, they pay $1 for hash rate, no? For only attempt that you make to find a solution for the miners, no? So this is dropping a lot. So we need to find energy with a very low cost in order to continue to grow the hash rate power, you know.
Thank you. Next question here.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel, for your lecture.
Thank you.
I have two questions. Back in 2017, 2021, cyber threat was not as serious as we have now. I think 2 weeks ago, there was a hack in Bybit. About 300 million US dollars was stolen. So is such threats included into your forecast? Do you think cyber threats pose a challenge in the increase of price of Bitcoin? And secondly, this is a personal question. If I was to retire by 40 years, as a financial expert, what would you suggest?
Sorry, where to invest?
Yeah, as a financial expert that you are, if I was to retire by 40 years, what will I do?
No, I cannot provide financial advisor, sorry, because I make a contract, you know. So
Nice try.
But for the previous question, no, is not included in the model, but is included in the volatility of the price of Bitcoin. The very good things that happen in Bybit is that Bybit was able to redeem 4 billion in less than a week. 4 billion. No one bank in the world will be able to, without asking a lot of money from the Federal Reserve or from the BCA, no, EBC here in Europe, to provide to the client 4 billion in 1 week. No one, because they have a reserve, a fractional reserve that is 10 times lower than the asset that they are managing. So they are 10 times leverage, the banks usually, okay? So the good things is this. The bad things, of course, is that this create skepticism, doubt, you know, to the market. So maybe the newcomers are scared and leave the money out. Is the people that are losing, because if one has invested in 2023 or 24, is not losing money. Only the people that are in these 3 months are losing money, you know, because they invest in November before the Trump was 60, more or less, the price, 60K. So only the people that invest from November till now are losing money, okay? All the rest are making money, you know? So it's not taking, it's not in consideration, but is more in the volatility of the price.
So we don't give financial advice, but also buy Bitcoin. Next question here.
Hello, Mr. Bernardi. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have 2 questions. The first one is, do you incorporate in your models the global money supply, which has been proven to have a high correlation with the price appreciation of Bitcoin? And my second question is, from your roadshows, from your talks with institutional clients, especially here in Europe, how do you see their appetite for Bitcoin? It is once again astonishing that all the appetite for new financial products, which are based on Bitcoin, come again from the United States. All the innovation with regards to Bitcoin always comes from the United States, and Europe always seems to be a step ahead before, and always the laggard to adopting innovation. So when you pitch your new products, or when you talk with your clients, do you see them being afraid of Bitcoin? Do you see them being wanting to explore it and invest money? As you said before, there is Bitcoin, despite its volatility, if somebody takes the Sharpe ratio in the long term, they will see that their average return per standard deviation is getting better and better, which means that they actually have more returns with less risk.
Yes, it's decreasing also the return. If you make a power law function of the return at 4-year return of the Bitcoin and 4-year volatility of the Bitcoin are both decreasing. And this is one of the reasons because the plan B stock to flow is not really reliable, because it's basically exponential growth that is not possible. Because if you have to double an asset, like a small ICO that has a capitalization of 1 billion, is relatively simple to double. If you have an asset with 2 trillion, it's quite a bit more difficult to double 2 trillion, you know? The energy that you have to spend is a lot more, the money that you have to insert. So, of course, it's not an exponential growth, but it's a power law growth, you know? And from the, I forgot, sorry, the first question.
If you incorporate within your models or your analysis
okay.
the global money supply.
Don't believe in the chart that you see that the global money supply is quite similar to the Bitcoin price. The global money supply doesn't have this kind of volatility. It's growing and growing and growing. So if I make the correlation of one asset that is always growing and one asset that sometimes 3 years grow and 1 year lost, there is a correlation, but it's not very, very strong correlation. So the storytelling that the money come from the money supply, from my point of view, is not really true. It's in part true. And now that there are DTF, will become a little bit true, but in terms of correlation with the financial market we see in this day. Because the same guy that has the stock in the portfolio has purchased also the Bitcoin for the first time. So if they sell stock, sell Bitcoin before because it's more volatile, and they became scary more faster than the equity, you know. Regarding the innovation, in the reality, in Europe, the first ATPs was set up in 2018 in Sweden. And there were a quite good industry, some billions, not a lot. 21 share, CoinShare, Bitwise, but it was ATC Group, now it was purchased by Bitwise. There were some company here. But of course, even they was early adopter respect US, because the US approved the last year, find a very difficult to approach the institutional investor that are very prudent, conservative, you know. And they had to work with the retail investor. And it was a huge work to do because they needed to make door to door to explain that Bitcoin is amazing and they can have in their own bank account without taking the risk of the key and blah, blah, blah. No? Anyone can choose. I'm not against one way to take the Bitcoin or another, okay? It's just a question of risk appetite that people want to have, you know. But the problem is not the people that innovate, because there is people that innovate in Europe, but of course the country is really complicated to solve, because Europe, the bureaucracy in Europe is incredible. The law, they started to make a law before to understand the business. No, we see with Mika and we see with stablecoin. You know, it's crazy what's happened. But this is what is happening now in Europe.
Say what you want, we are still world champion in bureaucracy. We are going to wrap it up very soon.
Really.
There's one important question there. Is anybody else, like, any last questions left here? One there. We're going to take that one, and then we're going to wrap it up. But Daniele is not going to run away, so you can catch him at the bar. We're not going to close before 11 or so. Last question.
So thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting. I just want to follow up on the third method, right? The cost of production. So the cost of production usually is electricity. It's variable, and it's a major part of it. What do you think that the impact of the price of Bitcoin increasing will be on innovation within the energy sector? And especially if we're going to exploit decentralized power sources.
Yes, very good question. Basically, the Bitcoin is pushing the miners to find renewable energy that has a problem, and the Bitcoin can solve. I don't know if you have heard about this, but the problem of the solar system is that they produce energy during the day and not during the evening and the night. But the people during the day is at work, and they need energy in the evening, in the night. Okay, so is just an example, but there is a huge disadvantage of energy needs during the day, and if you use the carbon fossil, you can accelerate or reduce, is not a problem. But if you have a power system, basically you waste energy, okay? Because you have to keep the maximum, but for the most of the day, it doesn't need the maximum, you know? In that case, Bitcoin the miners help to equilibrate the price. They take for a very few price, and the company that build solar system has the money to invest and create other solar system. So the Bitcoin industry is one of the faster, probably the faster changing industry from carbon fossil to to energy, solar or natural energy. And for this reason, is welcome if arrive the nuclear power. And in Ecuador, make with the energy of the volcano, you know. So any kind of energy could be good to increase the potential of the hash rate. That means that the Bitcoin is more safe, no, and more valuable because there is a stricter relation between Bitcoin and energy.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Daniele from DIAMAN Partners. Thank you very much.
Thank you to
It was a pleasure to have you. He is not going to run away. He's going to hang around a little bit for some questions, but he's not giving financial advice by Bitcoin guys. One last announcement. A little shout out to the people and the partners that are making this meetup possible. I mentioned that we're now a registered association, and that would not have been possible without WH Partners. They are the crypto lawyers of our choice because we share the same values, and if they can help us, they can help you. There's also the Bit Research. They're doing research and analysis in different DeFi protocols. I think they are here as well. The Bit Research, thanks a lot. And Simply Staking, that is a Maltese blockchain infrastructure company based here in Malta with majority Maltese blockchain engineers. And Jesus, how many Maltese blockchain engineers do you think there are? It's rare like a unicorn. And they are also supporting us. So thanks to those. Next week, there's going to be a public holiday, the Feast of St. Joseph, I think. And I'm going to be in church, so there's no meetup here. But the week after, we have a very important topic. It's about cyber security, Web3 security, and smart contract auditing. It's going to be a little bit more advanced, but it's going to be super, super crucial with DDoP, which is a Maltese cybersecurity company. See you maybe in 2 weeks, and see you at the bar. Thank you so much.